I know things have been tough. I know things have changed. And when things change, we've got two options. Option number one is we can settle back into the things that we've done before, into the people that we have been in the past, and we can do what is easy, and we can just kind of get through the day, find ways to pass time and just get through the day. Or option number two is we can lean in and we can say, I'm going to continue to live with purpose. I'm a teacher and things have changed in my life. I haven't been in my classroom for 3 weeks. And I found myself too many days just wasting time, just getting through, just trying to pass through that day. And I've decided that is not how I want to do this anymore. And so I'm going back to what I love. One of my favorite things in the entire world is to speak to a football team in a locker room before the game. I love that. I love giving those talks. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm inviting you into the locker room and saying, let's go, because we've got a season that's coming. We're a season right now with this COVID-19, and let's get back to living with purpose. As men, that's what we want. We want every day to have a purpose to it. We want to be able to live with purpose every single day. I've seen coaches respond like this after they've lost parents. They got back on the sideline very quickly, and through the pain, they continued to coach because that's what they wanted to do. They needed that purpose. They needed that normalcy in their lives. I've seen a coach do that after he lost a son, got back on the sideline and say, let's go. And I'm still hurting, and it's still not right, but I need that purpose. I want that purpose. And I remember myself on September 15th, 2001, playing a football game because that's what we wanted. We didn't want to let the outside forces in this world, the fear, to keep us from doing what we loved to do, fulfilling our purpose. And so that's what I'm challenging us to do every single day. Live with a purpose. In 1970, the University of Marshall, their football team, they were all lost in a plane crash. They were coming back from East Carolina. The plane went down, and every single player except for 3 who were not aboard the plane, and every single coach except for 1 who was not on that plane, was lost. The entire football program, other than 4 people, was lost in an instant. And in 1971, the university had a decision to make. Were they just going to sit back and do the easy thing? Were they going to say, it's too early, it's too soon, we can't move forward? Or would they press on and say, let's get this done, let's get back to normal? Well, that's what they decided to do. And so they got a coach, and the coach came in and he started pushing, he started driving hard and saying, let's get this done, let's live with purpose, let's get back to living, let's get back to living. Things are never going to be the same, they're going to be different, but let's go, let's do this. Reminds me of a story in the Bible, a guy named Peter, one of my favorite guys in the Bible. Peter was a fisherman, just a normal guy, until one day Jesus came up to him and kind of dragged him out of his boat and said, Peter, listen, leave this life that you know and come follow me. And Peter said yes. And so for the next 3 years, Peter lived the adventure of a lifetime. He didn't have a home that he lived in. He traveled from place to place to place with Jesus and 11 other guys, and they just had an awesome adventure. But at the end of this time, Peter started noticing some stuff. Jesus started to tell him and give them all hints that he was leaving, that he wasn't going to be there, that things were going to change. And over about a week, Peter started noticing, saying, man, something is coming. Something's going to be different. And so one night, Peter and all the disciples and Jesus were gathered together, and they were having a meal. And this was a great celebration, or at least it should have been. But this night was filled with tension. And they didn't really understand it. But over the next 24 hours, Peter would see Jesus arrested, beaten, crucified, and put in a grave. And in less than 24 hours, Peter's entire life was flipped upside down. And he found himself completely lacking a purpose. He didn't know. His purpose, he thought, was to travel around from town to town with Jesus, watching him do miracles, participating in all of this stuff. And now Jesus was gone. And so what would Peter do? And in John chapter 21, verse 3, we find this. Some of the disciples are gathered together, and in verse 3, this is what Peter says. He says, I'm going out to fish, Simon Peter told them. And they said, we'll go with you. So they went out and got into the boat, and that night they caught nothing. And as I'm looking at Peter, I'm trying to see what he's seeing and feel how he's feeling. And this is what I see. I see he's just like, man, you know what? My purpose is gone. What am I going to do? I just want to get through today. I just want to get through this night. You know what? I'm jumping in a boat and I'm going to go out and fish. But that night, they caught nothing. Early the next morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples didn't realize that it was Jesus. And he called out to them, "Friends, haven't you any fish?" And Jesus, by calling them friends, was talking about the relationship that he had with them. And he was saying, listen, I know things have changed, but you are still important. You are still a friend. You are important. No, they answered. So he said, throw your net on the right side of the boat, and then you will find some. And so right away, Jesus starts coaching them up and said, listen, you're looking in the wrong place. You're looking over here. I want you to look over there. And when they did, they were unable to haul in the net because of the large number of fish. Jesus said, there is an opportunity for you. If you just look over there on the other side of the boat, there's an opportunity waiting for you. And so they did, and they had a huge catch. Then the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It's the Lord." As soon as Simon Peter heard him say, "It's the Lord," he wrapped his outer garment around him and jumped into the water. And he swam to Jesus. Peter was like, I'm not waiting for these fish to get in the boat. I'm not waiting for the boat to get to shore. I'm going right now, because he saw an opportunity to get his purpose back. He saw Jesus standing on the shore. He said, yes, I want that. And so he went to Jesus. And when he got there, Jesus said to them, when they all got in, Jesus said, bring some of the fish you have just caught. You see, Jesus recognized your life has changed. You're not out there traveling from town to town, from city to city. You're not out there doing all that anymore, but you're still here right now. And what you have around you, the resources that you have right where you are, is something that we need. So those fish that you have around you in this situation right now, bring them, because we need to eat. Jesus and Peter then went on to have another conversation, and Jesus said this to Peter. He said, I want you to feed my lambs. I want you to take care of my sheep. I want you to feed my sheep. See, Jesus was telling Peter, stuff's never going to be the exact same, but it's going to go back to something. Peter, you still have a purpose in this life. You may not be traveling around with me from town to town anymore, but guess what? I still got that same mission for you, and it is coming. I want to talk to you guys as men right now. Too many of us fight against that feeling to just let the day pass. Don't go there. Jesus would come and say, friend, you still have value. You still have a purpose. You still have a relationship. And there are people around you, wherever you are, that need to have a relationship with you. Invest in them right now. Then Jesus would say, there are opportunities around you. If you would just look over here, you would see opportunities everywhere. I understand that things are different. I understand that things feel different, look different, or acting different right now, but you still have opportunities around you. And then Jesus would say, bring your fish. Whatever you have around you, whatever you are able to do right now, Jesus is saying, use that for a purpose today. Use what you have around you and get it done. And then Jesus would say, listen, a change is coming. The world ain't going to be like it was before. But listen, there's going to be a time when you get back to your purpose, when you get back to that thing that you have called. There's going to be a time when you get to be sent out of your home again, and be ready for that moment. Now I want to talk to some of you guys as players. All right, I know some of you guys are hurting right now, that you're sad, that you're bummed out because you're missing a spring season. You're missing the chance that you've had to compete. You've been training, you've been pushing yourself, and you're missing that opportunity. And man, that stinks. And I'm sorry, but listen, Jesus is still saying you have a friend. You have a relationship with people around you. You have teammates who are counting you. You have coaches who are still going to coach you through this time. You still have a relationship. And they're still going to coach you up, and they're going to say, listen, you still have opportunities all around you. I know you can't be training in a weight room. I know we can't be running together, but listen, you still have opportunities around you. So Jesus would say, bring your fish. use what you have around you. You've got a floor, do push-ups, do sit-ups, do air squats. You need to be outside running, doing agilities. You need to be jumping up things, jumping over things, climbing over things. Get yourself ready, because guess what, fellas? Guess what? There is a time coming when you're going to be sent out of your houses again. There's going to be a time when your season is here. Some of you guys are looking forward to your senior season of football, and guess what? You're going to be back on the field. But here's the question. Have you prepared yourself right now, and will you be ready to go? And that's the same message for everybody. There's going to be a time when we're sent back out of our houses, when we get to take up our purpose again and get back to doing what we love. But here's a question. Are you going to be ready to go? Don't waste this day. Get up off of your couch. Get something done. There is a purpose all around you, a purpose for living, a purpose for life today, all around you if you just look in the right places. Look to Jesus. He'll give you coaching. He'll show you where to look. He'll tell you what to do. Fellas, it is time to get up off of the couch and make today great.